Hello YouTube, how we doing today? This is Ghost Rider 22957's coming from the Demonslayer22957 Grand Theft Auto 5 YouTube channel. Today we're gonna get in here and we're gonna see what we can get into, but before we do, I wanna say something. You know, it's always said that when a parent dies, the kid suffers. Or the parent should outlive the kids. The reason I'm saying all this is because my mother was my best friend. My stepdad, he was a dickhead, but I loved him because he was my dad. Man took me in when he didn't have to, and he raised me like I was one of his own. So as far as I'm concerned, he might be my stepdad, but he is my daddy. And YouTube, I want you to understand something. No matter how bad you think your parents are, or how much you think you dislike them, but you got to realize, your mother and your dad is here forever. Relationships come and go. If there's anybody in your life in a relationship that's trying to control you from seeing your mom or your dad, you don't need them. You can do better than that. When I lost my mother in 2012, that was the hardest thing I had to go through. Knowing that I will never see my mama again until the day I die. YouTube, you gotta know that your mother is your best friend. Your mother is always there for you. There's nothing you can do that will ever make your mother stop loving you. I was one of the lucky ones enough to be able to tell my mama, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. And my mama told me on her deathbed before she died, the day before she died, she told me, Michael, there's nothing to forgive, my boy. You're my baby, and I forgive you. I have already forgive you. There's nothing to forgive. So I don't want to hear about how bad somebody's mother is, or talking about mothers, talking about you raped your dead mama's bones and shit. That's fucked up, people. You don't realize how much that destroys a person's heart, and how painful that can be to someone when somebody's talking about raping and killing their dead mother, or raping their bones and stuff. These young kids on here on Grand Theft Auto, they have no feelings for nothing. But I guarantee you, each and every one was going to learn in the long run, if their parents passed away, that something is going to happen no matter what. So you better think about what the hell you're saying. But other than that, God bless y'all. This is the Ghost Rider 22956, and let's get on this Demonslayer 22957 Grand Theft Auto 5 YouTube channel, and let's get in. If you like what you're seeing, hit your like button, leave your comments, and if you really enjoy my channel, subscribe to my channel. So God bless y'all, and let's get it in. Hold 'em up. Oh yeah. Another machine gun.
How you doing? Listen, I'm working on something interesting, I think, but I need a little time. Anyway, I got a request through the ether, so to speak. Someone's looking for a crew to take a score, but I don't know anymore. I thought maybe you'd...
day, guys? Not much, man. Depressing day. Uh, yeah, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm a little emotional today. No, not really, but I'll live. Uh, yeah, sure, why not? It might help. When back in 2012, I found out in '08. I took my mother to the doctor in '08, and she found out that came back, her cancer, and she had she had lung cancer, and it went into her brain, and then she started suffering from dementia and early stages of Alzheimer's. My mother went from a strong woman to someone who couldn't even walk. I had to bathe her. And I had to do everything for her. I had to feed her, had to change her diapers and everything. And it's just, yeah, and it just hurts seeing someone that's supposed to be, that is so strong and that is always there for you, just to waste away that way. And in 2012, she'd been fighting it for quite a while. In 2012 or 2011, whatever it was, she literally just passed away. And yeah, I do. But it's just really so hard. Yeah. And I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Uh, yeah. I'm sorry I broke down, but when it comes to my mother, I get very emotional. She was she was more than just my mom. She was my best friend, my sister, my father. It was just me and my mama for a long time. I can remember when I was 5 years old, or pardon me, when I was about 7, 8 years old. We huh? Uh, that mother, we didn't know where our next meal was coming from. There's times when all Mama had was flour and water, and that's what we had for supper. You know, I remember, I remember growing up on pinto beans, cornbread, onion, and fried potatoes. These kids today said, "Ew, that's nasty." Little turds don't know what it is to go without food. It is if they're wondering how they're going to pay their bill, how the parents are going to pay their bills and everything. We had to live in a house for almost a year because we didn't have the money to pay power. And as these kids today, they just make me sick because of the fact the way they act. Well, if I can't have this, I don't want that. No, that's bullshit. And pardon my language, and I'm actually streaming at the moment, and that's stupid of me. And But the point of it is, no matter how bad somebody thinks something is, you should look and think about what about the people that can't even afford to pay their power, or that can't even afford to buy food and everything. But my mother always managed somehow, some way, to put food on the table. My mother literally starved to death to make sure that I ate and the rest of her kids ate. That's the kind of person my mother was. And even when she didn't have it, she see somebody hungry on the street, she'd take them off the street, bring them to the house, and let them take a hot bath, feed them with whatever we had. They got fed. One guy, he stayed with us until he was old enough to move on, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just real. These kids today, they have no respect for nothing or no one. But like I was saying, I can remember times, even though we didn't have money for food much, the biggest part of the time, every year for Christmas and Christmas Eve, my mother always managed to have Christmas presents under the tree for her kids. That was one of my biggest problems. I was spoiled rotten when I was a kid. And I took it for granted. It took me till I grew up to realize what my mother was doing for me. And then I felt so bad, you know. And then I went to my mother's deathbed 2 days before she died, and I looked at her dead square in the face, and I was serious as a heart attack, just rolling down my face and everything. And I said, "Mama, I am so sorry for the way I treated you growing up." She said, "Baby, let me tell you something." She says, "You're my son. I gave birth to you. I love you. I went through the pain. There's nothing you can do will ever hurt me or make me feel pain as worse as it did as when I gave birth to. Young man, you tore me apart." She had to have 307 stitches to sew her up after I was born. Because I was like 3 ounces being 11.5 pounds when I was born. I was a fat bastard. And mother looked me dead square in the face and pulled me up on the bed. She said, "Come here, baby. Lay down in Mama's arms." And she sat there and held me while I cried. Just constantly wiping the tears out of my face. Off my face, and says, "Baby, it's going to be okay. It's time for me to go home. And I want you to come see me when it's your time." My mama forgave me a long time ago, and I didn't know it. And that literally destroyed me when I heard when she said that. Well, not destroyed me, but well, you know what I'm saying. It gave me so much pride that no matter what I did in life, my mother forgave me for it. And I don't want to hear these kids today. They talk about, "Well, I hate my mama. I hate my daddy." Yeah, when you get older and one of them passes away or something, you're going to regret it, because I do. I can't tell my dad I'm sorry. I can't tell my mom I'm sorry anymore. I have to live with the pain and the regret of what I did. But I did get to tell my mom I loved her before she left. She left me. And the next day, I sat there. I was on the porch. They called me. They said it's time. And my heart sunk. I went in there and I was tears rolling down my face. Daddy was bawling and squalling, practically screaming, begging Mama not to leave him. I raised her up in my arms and I told her, "Mama, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. You go home. Be with Mama and Papa. I'll see you again one day." And she was in a coma. And dude, even though she was in a coma, she could hear me. And she had the biggest smile on her face when she took her last breath. And then her body went limp. And then I knew right then and there my mother had died in my arms. Yeah. That woman was a trip. She was only 5 foot even. Yeah, she didn't weigh about 135 pounds when she died. And but that woman knew how to defend herself because she was trained by a guy that served in every military around the world, and it was all the special forces of it. And he taught my mother everything he knew. My mother was really sweet, but if you pissed her off, you better run. My mother was a tornado when she got pissed. Uh, Everybody says I'm a pussy because I cry, but I don't care what they think. When I'm sad or if I'm heartbroken, the tears are going to flow, and I don't care who knows it. What's up? Yeah. But, uh, the hardest thing that you have to deal with is the fact that no matter what happens, bear with me a second. Huh. Trying to figure this map out. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Oh, I didn't expect any sympathy from anybody. I just needed to. Yeah, it is. You sound like you're from Australia. The UK? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. And I actually, what game are you on? Guys, I won't be on DayZ tonight now because I'm waiting for that new update coming out. The update for Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. Well, I'm known as Ghost Rider on GTA as well. If y'all have GTA, y'all ought to consider coming to GTA for a little while. Do what, bro? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Whoa, what the hell was that? Still lit his ass up. Dirty foot.